We're ready to adjourn the meeting. I'm gone.
Great meeting.
Second.
We're missing Alan and Chris.
Correct. Yeah. Chris notified Kevin that he wouldn't be here. And JJ is online. We got 9 minutes.
9 of 11.
9 of 11.
9 of 11.
Is everyone had a chance to see the minutes from the last meeting? Yes.
Have we already called roll?
No, we have not.
We can call roll. I just counted who wasn't here.
I don't know if that's an official thing.
It can't, do you want it to be official?
No, I don't want it. I just.
Adrian, are you calling roll?
I'm not ready.
Are you here, Adrian?
We know.
You guys working together on that.
Is that coming through?
We lost Ryan.
We have 2 board members missing, Alan Balot and Chris Houston. We have 9 in attendance.
And also in attendance, we have Patrick O'Brien.
Yep. We can do roll call from here on out.
That's all right, man. We've just been doing it since
Has anybody, has everyone had a chance to see the minutes, review the minutes? Are there any corrections to the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved.
Second.
Take a vote.
Oh. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That would be 9 in favor.
Okay.
So we had Article 14 demolition that we had some amendments on.
Yes, I was gone our last meeting, but Matt and Phil formed me in, and then I think him and other staff did continued to work on the scope. And then Matt sent that out. Mike did send a response to Matt and me within the last day or 2. I've highlighted the 2 words that I've added that are in yellow based on his recommendation to this. And then I kept in the last part, which I think is relevant just because there's a lot of code language in the code where the code official or designee can request additional information depending on what they're trying to figure out. More information submitted in different capacities. So that is the proposed scope. Matt, I assumed a couple weeks ago you explained the purpose or the reasoning behind us adding this, so I don't think we need to go over that again. I'd like to be able to get this finalized during this meeting so we can make corrections as we go rather than bringing it back again. We are not meeting next month due to the holiday season, so we're giving you guys a well-earned break, and then our next meeting will be after the first of the year. So I would say, Sarah Jane, that if there's anybody that wishes to make amendments or suggestions to edit what is there, do so. If not, then we would want to have a motion to pass this ordinance as submitted to you guys.
So with the addition of proposed remaining structure would consist of only the foundation or isolated wall. Does that meet what the purpose that we wanted from last week? When it was, I think most of the discussion was
Yeah, the
because it
whole-
was only 50%.
Right, yeah, this whole thing is new relative to last week. Mike cleaned up some language just so this sentence more or less made sense. So this whole, for instance of this whole bit is.
I think we brought 2 weeks ago, though, it was a 75% threshold, right?
Yeah.
Somehow that got
And then
reduced based on discussion.
This is 50% because we included this, we were specific about the framing or the exterior wall area.
And I just recommended adding those 2 words
Yeah.
just to
I had to read it 2 or 3 times before it made sense to me, so I thought it cleared it up a little bit, but.
And that's key. We want this to make sense. We don't want people to have to read it multiple times to try to figure it out. So, yeah, that's where we're at on it.
And there's no other changes in the document?
Well, what was presented 2 weeks ago when I wasn't here, that's, it's a big rewrite, correct? And then I'd
Nothing
something,
else has changed. No.
nothing else has changed except for I added the 2 highlighted words that Mike said, hey, perhaps you guys, we should add this as well.
I did, Laura. I finally got it through my thick skull. I had to do a footnote. Jeez, I can't believe it took me 4 days to figure out you were just asking for a footnote. Sorry about that. So no, the document itself has not changed outside of that definition. And Brian, you didn't change anything else,
No,
Right.
no,
previous code cycles.
no, I think that was it, other than. I see we need to change the 25 editions. It's actually the 24 editions.
Right.
So I don't know if someone changed that on me or what. That's. We can, that's minor edit. But no, all the relevant code sections have not been changed. We added scope that was not there, and we renumbered the code sections. But that, yeah, the only thing different between 2 weeks ago and today is the scope has been rewritten. Based on your guys's, all of your conversation at that meeting.
Is there any other comment? Do we have a motion to approve this as written now?
I'll move.
Second,
Okay,
with the changes of the year and those 2 words.
okay,
Oh,
yeah, we'll make the change of the year.
just maybe the 2025 to 2024.
Yes.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes, JJ? Passes 9-0.
Yeah, I oppose. No, I'm just kidding. I approve.
Did we miss you on the comments?
All right, plumbing.
So I'll give a little bit of background on this. Martin Mills, our longtime city employee, building inspector that retired June 20th of this past summer, was originally our sole plumbing inspector before the building guys got cross-trained about 15, 20 years ago. So he was in charge of doing Article 8 of the IPC, the International Plumbing Code. So he completed this ordinance but prior to him leaving. So we've asked Patrick to come on to come off the bench, so to speak, in his absence, since he's no longer with us. Then Patrick will also follow up with the field gas code and the mechanical code at this meeting. So I haven't looked at this in a while, but I don't think there's much changes.
The only change is in the plumbing article. There was an addition to the code using, requiring tracer wires for sewer connections. And he pulled a lot of the plumbing contractors and they said that they don't have the equipment that, that requires to connect that and to be able to find that. They said they use cameras probably inside the pipe to locate where that's at. And so, he did add an amendment in there to,
Patrick speaking specifically about the.
yes, he put an amendment in there to delete that section in the code. Other than that, I don't think there's any changes in the ordinance. And the only significant change that I saw in the plumbing code, the updates, in restaurants, in the kitchen areas, it doesn't allow the fuel burning appliances to be inside the kitchen area. It has to be in a separate room or enclosed in a separate room.
I don't see that.
I can-
That's in the new code, Patrick?
Yes.
We,
It might be in the fuel gas,
And we-
probably in the fuel gas.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're actually deleting the requirement for vacuum testing. An option added for vacuum testing of drain waste and vent was added in this new codes.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's being taken out, maybe, if I read that right. Plumbing fixture requirements updated for some different group occupancies, and shower heads limited to 2 gallons per minute in this one.
Okay, wasn't familiar with that one.
Plastic
Apologize.
cans for gas-fired water heaters required to be tested in a certain manner. There's another new one that I pulled off of code,
What was it?
that's in the new code.
Would you test?
What was it?
Let's see, plastic pans for gas-fired water heaters required to be tested in accordance with an ASTM rating. So I'm
Oh,
sure
if you
flex-
added the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of standards that they've added into the codes.
And then-
I thought they was gonna have the air test.
Like, how do you test that?
And then there was a lot, just for your edification, on ADA, on requirements for plumbing fixtures added. Some clarifications for different rooms and occupancies. But besides that, I don't think. Something that we've been finding, I know, at least I have been, is in the amendments, you guys have, the city has taken out hydromechanical grease interceptors are prohibited, which is in 90% of the restaurants here in town. They're the little undercount. And I know, forget who at the city I just work with. But so you have to go to them to get it approved. So you're still approving them, but it's written in there.
I just say, why have the extra step?
Yeah.
Why are we having,
I believe it might be an MSO thing.
It is an MSO thing, and they're pretty adamant about it, so.
Yeah. And they're not
what's,
fun to
they
work.
just. What's the issue?
I can't remember exactly, but they want to be, it's a fog in the system, of course.
I understand.
Yeah, but they just want to be able to determine, decide what goes in where and what, and we just never question them because they won't get it back now.
Yeah,
It's about
I mean,
3 weeks to
We're
approve
putting
for us.
it's in the code. So we can have them, and then we have to have them, and where we have to have them. Why do we have to have them? It just sounds like an extra step to me, is all I'm trying to say. That,
Well, I'm not trying to defend them, believe me.
No.
and then needed step in my opinion.
And I've gone through 2 restaurants here in the past couple of months, and it adds about 3 weeks to each permitting process, because you have to go back and forth with them. And then they will also tell you exactly how they want it sized.
it's definitely an MSO thing. It's coming back to me now. Adrian, do you recall how many code cycles this has been a text amendment?
I think it was
15?
two at least, when they start stepping it out. Yeah.
Important to remind everyone, this is not us making this amendment now. This is a carryover from the current code, probably at least one code cycle before that.
What is the
Yeah.
reasoning for them not allowing them? That would be my question. And is that person that was requiring them originally even here?
That's a great question. We can ask that, we can follow up with MSO on that.
Because it may have been a reason at the time.
I think that it's not that they don't allow, they want to be
Involved in
the decision when and when you can't use them.
The complete design, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't allow the electronic, the combination ones inside with electronic cleaners.
Yeah.
Because those have to be cleaned out daily. That is what should actually be put in here, is that those aren't allowed. Because, a lot of people design to that standard.
And they're not cleaned out daily.
No.
So let me ask the board this question. We will do our homework and follow up with MSO on this specific code section. And Kevin, I didn't hear everything you said on this. What would that look like? Striking this completely?
Let's say, strike the hydromechanical grease interceptors are prohibited, because that's not true.
Because then you come down to the next section and it says mechanical grease interceptor shall be da.
Telling them not there, but then we're saying, okay,
Okay,
But it just says it has to be installed, shall only be installed with prior approval of the building official.
Depending on what we find out, it may be a exercise in having MSO staff attend our next meeting if
This,
needed.
right?
Well, one thing to think about, if we just write this section, then designers are gonna design according to that, and then it's only gonna get turned down when it gets, either goes through plan review or in worst case, is installed and then found on final inspection. So there should be some language to let MEP engineers know.
I just got done with the new Henry T's one and it came back to me 3 different times rejected. And saying that I didn't have a hydromechanical specified when it was a hydromechanical specified, and I had to send them all this data, went back 3 times.
It definitely adds delay. I've been part of that delay.
I just, the way it reads to me, if you're not somebody that works in Lawrence
Give them.
and you read this,
That's exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
can't have this.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the next code section talks about,
Yeah,
it. And that's.
it should at least be say that that must be approved by.
Or symptoms.
It's installed with prior approval, but
I assume in 17, when we did the 18 code review, this perhaps didn't come up, or, I mean, I wasn't involved in it then. Do you have any recollection, Adrian?
I can't remember. I thought this was amended kind of after the board looked at it. MSO put it in.
Well, as you know, MSO wouldn't put it in unless they had some conversation with us and.
Right.
Right.
And so forth, so. Okay, we got some homework on this one. We'll follow up on that.
There may be some legitimate reasons. I just don't know what they
What
are.
are they?
And I'm all about trying to get the permitting process much faster than it is.
Well, yeah, that's just,
it's
my deal is why have to check an extra box
Right.
when it's all covered in the code already.
And staff didn't want to deal with it.
And now we need MSO to approve what's covered in the code.
Patrick, do you have any background in history that you can?
I sure don't.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you the main background is downtown plumbing.
Hmm.
That's the main background. That's what MSO is trying to prevent blockages downtown plumbing,
there.
because you get one block and everybody's blocked.
Yeah.
So,
This-
Okay. All right,
I'm not saying take them out, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you know, I'm just saying, I don't like that wording there.
Right.
Cause they're letting them in. You know, they're letting them be used.
Right, this doesn't, this
That does not make sense, which is.
directly with that, right? I mean, other things
Based
in here.
code based on an area, kind of like we did
like the fire
fire
district.
district on Massachusetts. If it's in this area, then it must be approved. Because that is a good point. Those are old buildings.
Yeah.
yeah.
wait, Henry T's operated with this one grease except for how long? And they're making me put 2 and at least double the size for a bakery.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, you can imagine how I had to deliver that news.
Mhm.
Just remember, they are not us.
No, I know.
I do have a little housekeeping thing, if you go up to 312.5. Roll up. That stop right there.
Water supply.
That's actually in the code book 312.6.
Are you looking at the 18?
Nope.
Okay. Just try. Just checking. I'll make errors.
Okay, we'll clarify this. But you guys would recommend that we allow hydromechanical grease interceptors?
I'm just saying they
You do.
do.
Or allow? Okay, so then this, we need to make sure that this can come out.
Well, we
Do our homework with MSO.
And if they have
Rewriting
specific
it.
requirements, just
Right.
put them right there
Right.
of, this is what can go in there, this is how you size it, which it does talk about sizing and everything. But they don't need to be holding up design and permitting, going back and forth because they don't know how to read plans.
Whatever requirements they have better be legitimate.
You talked about an electronic one. Was that something that is
Have
totally?
you seen those? We've used them in some, like, they are allowed in some jurisdictions, and I was thinking that they will not let us use them here in Lawrence, so that actually needs to be probably in the code, if they're not gonna allow us to use those. There are some, I forget, it's some taco place that's their standard that we do.
And those rely on staff to either clean or back them in, which will never.
Which I agree, I think it's a
Yeah.
bad idea, and that should specifically be in there, these are not allowed.
Got it. Anything else?
So you, Brian, you think we'll have somebody from MSO at the next meeting, or you just?
I think the way we play this, I'm playing it out in my mind, Adrian, I think we reach out to them and get some input from them and see what their response is. And then depending on what their response is and so forth, we try to get them at the meeting.
Okay,
Sound reasonable?
Yeah.
To everyone? Okay. Because I am not the expert on hydromechanical grease setters. But it makes,
No three. But the code is contradictory, that's.
yeah. Now, this is why we do this, good exercise, we're, Mark probably finished this 2 days before he retired, so his attention, it might have been somewhere else.
Okay. Fuel and gas, this was marked also. I don't know.
And
You can change here the holdover.
yeah, same, yeah, it's all carryover from the previous code amendments. Gas doesn't change much over the years, so.
So everything, to piggyback on Patrick, everything that's underlined is carry over.
Everything that is underlined is carried over, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because there was no change, we
Okay,
Yeah,
didn't have any changes at all, so.
Nerves, I'll get up.
that's what I have highlighted.
I won't. But yeah, that's what they're adding. to the code.
Okay, single wall mounted unvented room heaters installed in a bathroom. Okay. Carbon, yeah, it shouldn't be going in there anyway.
Yeah, and that was a concession from a citizen. Yeah, I thought you were on the board at that time.
Yeah.
It's redundant, I think, now because carbon monoxide detectors are required if the fuel
For the fire, yeah.
appliances. So,
It changes. the fire code.
I don't know if that would,
What the deal is, someone wanted to put a gas heater in the bathroom. And so we added that a cycle or two ago that you had to have a carbon monoxide detector in there. It's a bad idea to do that
I
anyway.
think an unvented room heater anywhere
Yeah,
You see a lot
is a
of
bad
gas
idea.
fireplaces in Mission and Kansas City.
Say that again.
Fireplaces
but they're vented, aren't they?
are vented,
Okay.
right?
These are
These are unvented.
Yeah,
yeah,
in a bedroom and a bathroom.
that's a bad.
the original code allows the smaller, like a 10,000 in a bedroom and 6,000 in a bathroom or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, and it was originally deleted, like prohibited, until the citizen came in and they said, I want to put one of these in, and I can't because the code doesn't allow it, so.
Well, my response would have been, yeah, we don't have to kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, and that might be something we consider is taking it back out.
I won't, I mean, they're in there. They're legal in the code, but I won't hook one up. I won't run a gas line to it. You can call somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that. That's liability to me.
You didn't see those very often in the plans or specs or whatever.
Oh, no.
It's more of
Yes.
a residential
It's-
issue that someone comes in.
It's like more that I went to Home Depot
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I found this and I bought it and I want to put it in. It's like, no, you go right ahead, but I'm not doing it.
Right, and all those boxes, don't they say need to adhere to local jurisdictions,
Right.
but no one, no one does.
No, it's just like all the Amazon faucets you see that aren't listed, and stuff like that.
Let me ask the group, I heard Laura say something to the fact. This is where we decide whether we, want to pursue not keeping something that's been a carryover for a couple code cycles. That's that's where you give us direction and tell us how you wish to proceed on something like this.
Well, and this would actually be striking it out of the code. The code allows, all we did was add a carbon monoxide detector requirement to the code.
Oh, that's true.
So it'd be actually taking it out of the,
Striking it out entirely,
Which it
I
was
just-
originally.
My deal is, I think,
not allowing it at all.
bad idea to put an unvented appliance in a sleeping room.
Right.
Or small space.
Or small, or or
The detector wouldn't.
a bathroom with being filled up with hairspray
Then.
Yeah.
by a
Eventually
teenage
it would.
kid.
It would.
Yeah, you
Well,
know?
because
but it's
you
the
see what I'm
bathroom,
saying?
you'll
I
have
think more
exhaust,
about
yeah.
unvented heaters than I really wanted to
Right.
know when that came up.
That's
They
my,
have an oxygen.
I'm not gonna
depletion
stand on the
Right.
wall.
pilot light on it, and so
That's just,
if there's not enough oxygen in it, it shuts it off anyway. So,
So we would either leave it as is
Or delete it.
or delete it.
I think we delete that section allowing unvented room heaters,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
so number 4 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I'm sitting there looking at like the bedroom, a CO detector with that amount, I think it's gonna trigger. That's just, and then what are they gonna do? They're gonna remove the CO detector and then somebody's gonna die.
Yeah.
So,
I agree that we go back to not allowing unvented.
Are they existing because it's kind of an outdoor, maybe small use building and it's unoccupied most of the time, but they have to keep it warm because of the plumbing and it's cheap and it's easy to do this? Or why would anybody use an
That
unvented?
residential, older
A
resident.
lot of it,
It's commercial now,
Or,
like this is for the commercial type code,
yeah,
even though there's.
bedrooms and
a
bathrooms.
lot of it's for
or something.
additional comfort heat,
Yeah.
supplemental heat, right?
Yeah, supplemental heat only, because that, even the property maintenance
Yeah,
or doesn't allow
supplemental,
supplemental heat
right.
for all the heating.
Did Chris talk about this at all? What's the fire department's input on this?
No, as far as I know, he has not. I can, knowing Chris for as long as I've known him,
He's not gonna like it.
he's not gonna like it.
So we probably will pick this out of the residential code too.
Yeah.
Yeah, commercial wise, there should, if anything's gonna be used, it's gonna be electric. I'm gonna slap an electric heater in it. And I would never.
Sprinkler rooms.
We don't need it. I don't think we need to take an official vote on that. I mean, this is just general discussion of the board, which way we want to proceed. I would ask if there's anyone that is not feeling that way.
No, I would agree to.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does nothing to make the code safer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll,
Acceptance 3 and 4 come out, so then we just have 1, 2, 3. I'll
Yeah.
check against the actual code book.
yeah, we'll check against the actual code book to make sure it all coincides.
Okay.
Okay,
So at this point, we're prohibiting them, and then we'll make a vote on the final vote for that.
correct. We will amend this, and then after the first of the year, we'll come back with a version that we'll take a vote on. Or you guys may want to make some changes first to what we have and then go from there.
Is there a limit on how big your kitchen can be with a gas range? Unvented?
I don't know.
That's
You did?
Hey, I think you guys got muted somehow. We can't hear anything online.
How's that, Timberly?
You're back. Thank you.
How long have we been gone?
Just after the unvented discussion
All right.
question.
And I
from
was just gonna say,
about
you know, if you do have any downtime, you know, just look at these three ordinances or code books, if you have them or online, to see if there's anything else that catches your eye in the code between now and, you know, middle or late January.
Okay.
Mechanical?
Mechanical.
What, I'm just gonna do a summary of what I understand the new mechanical code says. Requirements prohibiting the use of domestic ductless range hoods in group 1 or I1 and I2 will remove. Group A, 2L and B2L refrigerant requirements. Of course, all the refrigerant requirements have changed. Leak detection monitoring with alarm requirements have been added where the discharge from safety relief valves is not readily accessible to occupants. Outside air requirements for dwelling units have increased to line up with ASHRAE 62.2, and requirements for exhaust system common ducts serving separate dwelling units have been added, requiring the common duct or shaft to be maintained at a negative pressure.
Which version of ASHRAE 62.2?
The latest, that's what I look at.
Yeah, I did some research into the domestic cooking appliances in I1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it's mainly for a common area. They could, it prohibits it, but if you put you can either vent it or you can put a recirculating hood over it. It's mainly to keep cooking odors from propagating into other areas, causing a nuisance.
Like clubhouses at apartment complexes, you know, that's just what I think of.
But it's, yeah, it's mainly I1 and I2, so it's institutional.
Oh, yeah.
areas.
Base center for elderly or something.
Yeah, they have a common area where they have a range, a domestic range or something. They want to make sure that none of those cooking odors go into the dwelling units and cause a nuisance.
And then there's also the makeup air requirements, increase, the section now states that kitchen HVAC, think of commercial here, shall be increased in capacity to accommodate the additional heating and cooling load from the makeup air or dedicated systems that shall be provided to, at a minimum, temper the air coming in. So what happens is a lot of restaurant owners will come in and say, we don't want to temper that makeup air. We're just going to dump it in there. Very, very common. So now the code's saying you have to temper it. So, and that's good practice anyway, my opinion. So that's typically how we do it, but we do have some owners that come back to us and say, no, we don't want to temper that air.
I thought the requirement to temper that was also in the energy code, wasn't it?
Probably, this is just adjusting it in the mechanical.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of jurisdictions that don't adopt the energy code.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get a lot of pushback from engineers on that, so I don't know if it was so this wasn't in the previous version?
According to what my research, I didn't see it. It just, yeah, it kind of toned up the requirements to make it better, cleaned them up some. And I have no problem with any of it.
So is that on new construction or is that on remodels for commercial spaces too?
Oh, that's a good question.
It would be if you
Put it in.
yeah, if you put a new system in or upgraded the existing system.
So heating it's pretty easy to dump the heat on those makeup air units, but cooling is,
It's not a makeup air unit, it's a standalone DOAS pretty much.
right, so it's a whole lot more expensive. And if you're replacing an existing hood, you probably do not have the correct duct to carry the amount of cooling that the unit's gonna have.
You have to add
So then you're gonna have wet ducts and
And
all.
what we do at Chipotle, and I need to we have a dedicated unit that takes care of about 60% of that hood. And then we pull from our other 3 units outside air So I'm gonna have to see if that's gonna still meet the code requirement, and that's how they do it, right? So, I mean, we get creative when we're finding that outside air, and it's tempered if you're pulling it from other return air. But that one unit has to still be tempered also.
Yeah, shouldn't there be some type of, you know, it always comes down to remodel additions. You know, what's this, do you have to upgrade if you add a whole system, or if you add a part of a system? If you just add a hood, if it's new outside air, should that be when you add that, or? I think there should be some consideration.
There's a lot of stuff in the existing building code and the energy code that requires that if you touch a system, you have to bring it up to the standards now.
So that may be addressed
And in the future, yeah, once we get to the existing building code.
Okay,
Yeah. I think so.
okay.
That's a big cost burden then for people that just want to remodel their downtown kitchen that's, you know, within your.
We don't mess with the hood and the makeup air unit because it's so expensive. I know Henry T's didn't, they just did another one here in town. Oh, I added that wing stop where Frank's was, or wing stand, whichever one it was. And they didn't mess with the hood. They don't want to mess with the hood. It's too expensive.
But at some point it does have to be replaced. Like, parts of it are the equipment, the mechanical equipment needs to be replaced.
That replacements are covered. You don't have to.
One replacement doesn't trigger.
Well, if you're just replacing the hood
Yeah.
or, yeah, I don't know. I think that's covered in.
But if you're replacing the makeup air unit and you have to go to all tempered from maybe having nothing. That's what.
It's pretty pricey.
Right.
Mhm.
I'll do some code research to see if it triggers on that.
In the existing building code.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you may have to add gas line, which you'll have to add, I mean, you're gonna have to take 3 circuits
Mhm.
for those cooling makeup airs. I mean, it's.
Oh, it's not cheap at all. It's, yeah.
Hey, Timberly, I don't want to put you on the spot. So, but if you have any information on this, feel free to speak up. If you don't, I understand. We haven't got that far through that review yet.
I don't have any of that now. I mean, I don't have anything right now for that.
No, that's fine. I was just seeing if you did, we could talk about, but we'll talk about this soon.
Right. I do think that there is language in the existing building code for replacing, repairs, those kinds of things, but the group is right. Once you make an alteration or a modification, then the code, expects you to bring it up, all the equipment up to the current codes. So,
And really the equipment would still be to current codes. It's the design that isn't. And I think you'd get into the existing non-compliant area there. And I think you'd probably be fine replacing it as is, one for one. I propose that we look at this a little bit further.
Yeah.
And just make sure we're covered on that, because that is a big thing right there.
No, most definitely. Great point. We'll look at the existing billing code. And Laura, any research you want to do, that'd be much appreciated. And we'll get back together on this after the first of the year.
I'll look at it too, but so we're saying for new construction, are any concerns with new construction besides the cost, initial cost? I know we're just talking about remodels, additions. And
Replacement.
Seems to be, the conversation seems to be focusing on those two versus new construction, right?
New construction, you really should do for energy code reasons and for performance of the building. I mean, you're gonna have humidity and other issues if you don't do it.
Yeah, and if you don't temper it up, I got to get involved in situations where in the winter that cold air is blowing in, they just turn it off.
Right.
And
Henry Keith for 23rd Street does.
Just shut her up. That's why you can't get the door open.
they turn
And
the makeup air.
good for doors.
And what's sad is you got a gas line sitting right down there, right below it, at that range, that cooktop, they could go straight up to that roof and it's, so, yeah.
Any comments on the ordinance outside of that potential amendment? Patrick, I'll let you speak to this.
Yeah, everything was carried over. that 509 or 5-909 that was added in, just so we don't have to say ASHRAE 62.6 and then everybody's trying to design to that when we just say that that's been in there a few cycles, so.
I had a question about this exception. When approved by the state boiler inspector, the switch may be located inside the boiler room for emergency shut off.
That's standard.
It is standard.
That's been there for
I just,
20 years.
So, yeah, that was actually a board member that wanted that in there, and so that's why that's in there.
What section, so I can just scroll to it for us?
is 5-916.
16. Thank you, Warren.
Yeah, I'm just curious on that, because in my little pea brain, when you need to shut it off, being inside the boiler room may not be the best place to be.
You can't get there to shut it off.
Yes, so it's like our UPSs and stuff, all that stuff is outside the room, just in case.
In 90% of the time it will be. What happened, when I was at Haas and Brown 30 years ago, the state boiler inspector came through and the boiler was, this huge giant mechanical room. I'm talking giant, and the boiler was all the way over here. Well, they wanted to put the switch, the shut off outside. And he's just like, no, we gotta have it somewhere close to site so we can, see it, at least see it. So they're the ones, the state inspectors, the ones that really came and said, we need this a little closer to the equipment. So, but you still would want to, they're gonna tell you to put it right by that door, so when you're exiting, you can hit it.
Get it on the way out. Yeah, I wasn't questioning other than that. I was just like, that seems a little scary being in the room.
I had on flexible duct, in our occupancy, which this is flexible duct shall be limited to 15 foot. Whatever. I'm not a fan of flex, but that's okay. But then on the next section in 603.6.2 says flexible air conductors shall only be allowed in group R occupancy and only for environmental exhaust when located within.
You got two different products, you got an air connector and an air duct.
Right, yep.
I think air connectors were prohibited completely, but it didn't come in until the IMC wouldn't allow them.
Right.
And we switched to the IMC.
Big tent.
The board says no air connectors. But then I think somebody said, well, what if somebody asked, I think, the contractor, whatever, we use air connectors at their just for mat fans, and it's located inside.
And what's the difference between an air connector and flex?
Well, the air connector, it's a UL listing, but typically the air connectors are the really thin foil.
It's uninsulated.
Uninsulated,
Okay.
and it meets a different UL standard.
And the reason that exception to our occupancy is in the mechanical code itself is because there's not a section in the IRC to place it. And so it was more logical to just place it in the mechanical code instead of trying to rewrite a section or add the entire section into the IRC.
On that note, right now I've got a apartment complex. And it talks about access for fire smoke dampers, which of course I agree you need to. What about ceiling radiation dampers?
Most of those are accessible by removing
The grill?
yeah.
So that would be acceptable because it says
Yes.
dampers equipped with fusible links, internal operator shall be provided with an access door that is not less than this.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we needed to exclude ceiling radiation dampers. Because it has a fusible link in it, right?
Yeah.
So,
We've just allowed that the access could be through the register.
okay,
I don't know if you want to codify that or not, but
I guess it'd be more than 12 square inches anyway, typically. That would be the only thing I see there.
Which section was that, Laura?
It's our amendment 5-915. Then access 607.
Yeah, I think that was added mainly for the ones that are located within, inside the products instead of the.
I totally agree. But yeah, when it's 12 square inches, you're gonna be fine with that.
Yeah.
Besides that, I really didn't see much had changed.
Well, Laura, you will, sorry, let me get back to this note. In terms of remodel, replacement, potential one-to-one, we might want to include an amendment about the modification trigger.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna really look into the makeup air unit and look at some cost factors just to kind of come back and let you guys know what this is adding.
And is that the main factor?
The manufacturer, what?
Main factor, I'm sorry, right? Like just easing that burden.
I guess, I mean, we just get a lot of pushback from clients
Sure.
that they don't want to install that. Well, my other restaurant that I built 25 years ago doesn't have it.
Is there a space issue like with downtown restaurants where you have these tiny little roofs and you're trying to cram all this crap?
Yeah, you can
But
put
they
them on the
get-
side of buildings. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. It's not fun.
Okay.
Yeah. That's gonna be more of a problem when you get into high rises. That's gonna be a main issue.
I will follow up with you on that, Miss Laura.
Okay.
Adrian, sorry if I misquote you, but you said you would do some research.
Look at the existing building code. see if it's
Existing.
addressed.
Okay. That's the end of that one as well. No other comments on the rest of the ordinance outside of a potential amendment add for the makeup air that we had talked about.
Yeah. This morning, it's an elevator, if I can post it.
Okay. It's the end of our official agenda.
Does anyone have any miscellaneous items they wish to talk about?
Where is, I know, Warren, where was propane addressed? Is it in the fuel gas code or fire code? I know, cause I know Chris was.
Storage would be in fire code, but I don't know, I would think it would be in fuel gas as well. I would think.
What are you?
Well, I know the fire department, very concerned about food trucks, propane tank within the city limits, and that sort of thing.
There's something came down from the, I saved it about storage of propane in general. That basically cities can't regulate it based on the zoning where it's at for certain things. It's a pretty, Chris is aware of it. It's a pretty,
Okay, all right.
so
it's not in the field gas, so.
well, I'll have to refresh my memory on this issue. I think Chris brought it to my attention and we discussed it, but it's been probably a good year ago or more.
Okay.
If it's relevant, I'll definitely bring it to this board.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's another thing is make up air units to those food trucks.
What is covered under the code since they're portable and temporary and.
I know the exhaust is, I mean, they make them follow the code on the exhaust, so.
Yeah.
I'll dig into that.
Okay. All right, well, if no one has anything on the miscellaneous end.
Do we have any public comment?
Oh, yeah, good point. Any public comment? No one here in the office, anyone online? Just shows our staff and JJ, so there's no one online. So no public comment.
Do a motion to adjourn?
I did.
That was like 49 minutes.
Better.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, we did that at First 30-second minute.
Yeah.
And thinking ahead, since we aren't meeting next month, if we'll probably let everyone get their bearings underneath them after the first of the year, probably look at the second to third week of January. Maybe look, I would suggest we just look at a calendar real quick, if we can pull one. What the third Tuesday in maybe January looks like. And see if there's a couple months out, if not, we'll downtown that week.
It's 24th.
Where are we going?
That's your going. Country.
I'm probably up the week before that, like 11th. Whenever I come back. So. Maybe if we looked at the first or the last Tuesday,
First or last two? What's the first Tuesday?
was not, that's the third, maybe the
No,
second.
that's the reason I was asking. I didn't want us to meet the day after the sixth.
The sixth, that's the first Tuesday.
We have one on the 20th already.
It really did. Was due.
We have one on the 20th.
Start on the 20th.
I'm looking.
We already have it dangerously.
Yeah.
Do we have one already scheduled for the 20th?
Kids are gonna take it.
Well, we might want to reschedule that if people, we got a lot of people that are going to be here on the 20th. How many people are going to be here on the 20th? One?
I don't know. I'll probably be back. I'm gonna take, I'm gonna take most of the middle of the month. So most of
Didn't
this.
you just have a fabulous?
It's good to be involved.
I'd be back to sun.
What's that?
HVAC is hard work.
I hear you there.
January is not real busy.
Yeah.
No heat.
Just the replacement.
Yeah, the heat calls.
Not a lot of construction.
Well, do we want to keep 20? Just since it's already on the schedule?
Keep it for now, and as we approach it, if we have to shift it a week or two, that's fine.
Okay,
What's the one? The one on your 30th, up at the top.
This
that it?
is, that goes away. That was if we need it meeting.
Okay.
So that would be canceled.
So we won't do it that week
Correct.
between the holidays.
Between this meeting and the 20th of January, we don't have any meetings.
so
Looks like I cannot make the 20th either. I'll be out of town.
So earlier we.
I think you won't catch everybody.
no.
No, that's all right.
Better to finish this up in early December on
Well,
old stuff.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, do we do one in December
Just for the.
just for these?
I mean, fuel, gas. and
I
mechanical.
like that idea. If everyone could commit to that.
Yeah.
What,
Do late January, it's a hit on.
We're starting the big.
Yep,
energy.
yep. I like that idea.
If the flights are flying.
9th, 16th, 23rd would be a good no-go. That's the week of.
I've got something on the 9th that's already talks about the code meeting. So you already have that locked down.
We have, we could keep the 9th,
What, Sean, what are you referring to?
That's, I think.
December 9, we've got a placeholder.
Oh, do we already have a placeholder?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I say we go, I say we shoot for the 9th.
So let's keep 9.
That's a couple weeks from Christmas. People,
Works for me.
okay.
Great.
Does everyone hear that? We have a placeholder on December 9th.
On the 9th, yeah.
Are these two talking about vacations?
Yeah.
So we'll hold the 9th and then we're done for the year.
Okay.
You don't need me there.
And we won't introduce anything new on the 9th.
You won't be there?
Wrap up what we talked about.
Where are you at?
Honduras.
No kidding. At work here.
I think we'll get it to the point where we aren't there, minor tweaks, and then we approve after the first
There'll be
year.
follow-ups between now and the 9th also. So
Yeah.
as we sit down on the 9th,
Yeah,
nobody will
okay.
be surprised by
Great.
anything.
All right,
Are you guys working on this energy?
kind.
You haven't dug into it.
No, we have not done, we did the internal reviews of the energy, the IRC, the IBC with our internal staff to show the significant changes. But we haven't went into, we got the ordinances drafted based on the 2018 versions, but we haven't went in and started making recommendations,
Any new amendments.
amendments or anything. No, we have not done that.
Okay.
but we're not starting at ground zero. We're probably starting second or third floor.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be nasty.
So, appreciate everyone's, help to this point. It takes all of us as we're quickly figuring out. So we'll meet the 9th and try to knock these 3 out. The heavy hitters after the, as you guys all know, will be IFCC, IRC, and the exist. You can't forget the energy code. Well, we can,
Right?
We can't.
that's not the order.
What is the, I was thinking.
Matt, isn't that like a good? Have it off the top.
Okay,
I'll be able to pull it up pretty quickly.
he probably knows right off the top.
As usual, it's all flexible. If we have to move something out of order or whatever.
Want to know what I studied.
Existing residential building fire.
That's.
Where's the energy?
Energy code.
Oh, I'm sorry, energy code.
Oh, the first one's existing, yeah.
So we're starting with energy. code.
First was with the energy.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why we were trying to give you December
Existing
off.
was supposed to be
Okay.
this month.
Yeah, existing was.
We gotta find existing, because it was supposed to be today.
Have we officially closed the meeting?
No, we have not.
Have something afterwards, it's just.
Okay, I think we're done with that part.
Move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? JJ?